Welcome to our daily Forex market analysis, and this is for trading on July 24th, 2018. Just a quick disclaimer before we get started. This is for educational purposes only. Trading is a risky business, so please be careful with your money. All right, so as usual, we'll start off with our Forex factory calendar here. Okay, in terms of news, excuse me, we have manufacturing PMI numbers for Japan coming up. And next, tomorrow, not a ton of red news here, but we have a lot of PMI numbers coming up. And PMI numbers are important. So bear that in mind. For pound, nothing important, and some more PMI numbers for the US. Important number here is CPI inflation number for Australia here. Again, CPI is a very important number that the central banks will track. So just keep that in mind. And if the numbers are amiss, that will have a negative impact on Australia. But other than that, we are pretty mild in terms of news. And let's move on to our charts. We'll start off with Euro US dollar. So we have seen price go into the support resistance area. Now we have a bearish candle close here. So the bias for the day is bearish, and I'm looking for price to drop. The first take profit target here will be 1.1620 level. So basically looking for price to come back down here. So overall though, we're kind of in a range here. So there's a wider range about there. And then we have, within that, we have a narrower range right about there. So we have seen price reject the high of the range. So I'm looking for price to drop down. And the target here, the first target will be 1.1620 level. So bias is to the downside. And if we just drill down here into the 1 hour chart, we can see that we saw a double top. So we could see a push either higher into our pivot point level or even into this 1.1720 level, and then a drop from there. So this sort of support resistance area right about there. But I'm looking for price to drop and come back into this 1620 area. So bias is to the downside for euro dollar. Pound dollar here, we have a bearish bias here for pound dollar as well. We have a pin bar close, looking for price to drop further. First target would be 1.3050, and then below that, the second target will be 1.300. So bias is to the downside, and I'm looking for price to drop. Just taking a look at the 1 hour, again, we see that the price went into the previous support resistance area, has dropped from there. So maybe a bit of a pullback into this 3120 area perhaps, or just into the pivot point, and then looking for a further drop here. Bias is bearish for pound dollar. Aussie dollar here, this one is trading in a range as well, looking for price to drop, and a target is the bottom of the range here. So 73.20 level will be the target here. Bias is bearish for Aussie dollar. New Zealand dollar, that's a nice pin bar on New Zealand dollar. I'm looking for it to drop over the next couple of days here. Again, this is in a range here as well. And if you take a look at it, there's a bit of a bearish trend line going on here as well. And price has been respecting that. So looking for price to drop. Target is 0.6720 level to the downside. Dollar CAD, we have this inefficiency that seems to be getting filled right now. So looking for dollar CAD, we saw a big drop in dollar CAD. And if we take a look here, we were into the bottom of that, the previous support resistance area here. So we have a bullish candle close. I'm looking for price to move higher. And the target here will be 1.3220 level. So bias is bullish for dollar CAD. Euro pound here, Euro pound looks bearish. So we have, sorry, excuse me. Okay, we have a bearish candle close here And we did see price come into support, so that's something to be mindful of. But I'm looking for price to drop further into this S2 level at 8,900. So bias is bearish. Second target would be 88.80 level to the downside. Bias is bearish, but we do have to be careful that we have a large pin in the bottom, so it could get pushed up. Okay, so so there's large pin in the bottom here, so we have to be careful of this one here. So if price does not break through this pin, it could get pushed up. And if you take a look all the way over here, this is strong support and resistance in this area. So will have to be careful with that one. Euro Swiss franc, bearish bias. We are into support here though, so need to be careful with the support level, but that's a nice bearish engulfing candle close. So bias will be to the downside, looking for price to drop further into 1.1560 area here. So bearish bias for Euro Swiss. Pound Swiss, that's a nice bearish pin bar here, looking for price to drop further. First target is 1.2980, and then below that 1.2920. So a bearish bias for pound Swiss franc as well. Dollar Swiss franc, this is indecision here. So we have an indecision candle. This one could go either way, but I think a good one or a good move to look for here could be one of these. Price goes up into the previous pin here, and if it stays below that level at 99.50 level, then I would look for it to drop. So looking for a bit of a pullback. The candle, the bias is neutral for the day, so that's a indecision candle. So bias is neutral. Pound yen, that looks like a nice bearish candle close here. So bias is bearish for pound yen based on the daily, and looking for price to drop. First target 145.50 level, and then below that looking for price to drop further 145.20. So bias is bearish for pound yen. Euro yen, a big move here as well today. So bias is bearish, looking for a pullback here. It could pull back a little further here, 130.50. So be careful with that one. But the bias is bearish, and I'm looking for price to drop. First target would be the bottom of the pin at 129.80, and then looking for price to drop further into 129.50 level. So bearish bias for Euro yen as well. Dollar yen, this one we had seen a drop, but now there's a pullback here, which shows the rejection of the support level. So there's still bearishness in that candle. So we have to be careful. This one can go either way. So because there is a big pin in the bottom, that would suggest that price wants to move up higher. So I would look for price to go higher into 111.80 level. And then depending on whether if price holds below this level, coming all the way from here. So we have a very similar sort of drop here, but the next move is not similar. So here we see price pull back. So this one could go higher. So 111.80 will be the target to the upside. Aussie yen here. The daily candle close is bearish, and I'm looking for a further drop. 81.90 will be the first target, and then 81.50 will be the second target to the downside. So bias is bearish for Aussie yen. New Zealand yen, this one is a bias is bearish as well, and I'm looking for price to drop further into 75.30 level. So bearish bias for that. CAD yen looks bearish as well, nice bearish candle close. Looking for it to drop back into this 84.20 level. So this is bearish as well. Euro CAD indecision here. We did see price reject the high, but today's candle close is very, very neutral. So this one could go either way. We are sitting in a range though, so best trades, of course, will be at the selling at the high of the range, 154.50, or buying at the bottom of the range, 153.20. So this one here, just because it's in the middle, I will look for it to come to the bottom. It got rejected from the high, so I would look for a bottom. But neutral bias for Euro CAD for today. Pound CAD here, this one shows a rejection here, but there is some bullishness. So in this case, we could look for a pullback into 1.7280 level here. And if price goes into the high and rejects that level, that could present a good shorting opportunity, because that's a good support that should turn into resistance here. So I would look for price to pull back into that level, and then look for a potential opportunity to, I would look for a potential opportunity to bring it down like this. So that will be my bias, looking for a bit of a push up and then a drop in pound CAD. Euro Aussie here. Euro Aussie is looking bullish. Excuse me. So this is range bound here as well. So today's candle close is bullish, but we had this large pin bar. So price could go test the high, and if it does that, then we could get an opportunity to look for a potential short, because this is kind of range bound here as well. So if it goes into the high of 1.5890 and does not break above that level, so right now I'm looking for price to push up. And if it doesn't break that level, we could see a drop from there. So bias for this one for now is bullish, looking for it to either retest the high or retest the high of the day. And as we can see, there are multiple pins here, so we could get another opportunity to short from there as well, or just a retest of today's high. Pound Aussie, this is looking bullish. We had an indecision candle. Now this is looking bullish. So looking for price to move up higher, and target would be 1.7820 level for Pound Aussie. Pound New Zealand here, based on the daily close. Okay, so based on the daily close, that's an indecision candle. We had previous indecision candle here as well. So I would look for price to push up higher into this 1.9340 or 50 level here. And if price stays below that, then we could see a drop. But right now I'm looking for a pullback here. And if it doesn't break that level, I will look for price to come back into this 1.9220 level. But right now, a pullback will be the first thing. So if it breaks this level, then I will be looking for price to go up into the next support resistance area here. So for now, today's candle close is neutral. Euro New Zealand, this one is in the middle of a range here as well. Price has been trading sideways. This one we still see bearishness in the candle, but there is also a rejection here. So not the best daily trade setup. There's still bearishness, but I don't like this rejection. So I would look for price to maybe go into the high and then drop again, but not my favorite trade setup for Euro New Zealand. Okay, so let's take a look at gold. Gold is looking bearish here. So that's bearish. Price went and tested the previous support, didn't quite make it to the pin, but got fairly close and has dropped, looking for price to drop further. So that's a nice bearish candle close. So I will look for price to drop into this 1212 level. So bias will be bearish for gold as well. Oil, that's a bearish candle close, nice pin bar, looking for price to drop. 66.38 will be the target for oil. So looking bearish. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Okay, so that's bullish. So it held above that support resistance level. So looking bullish, we are into the previous resistance here. So this is an important level. If price holds this level, let's say, if price holds below this level, I will look for price to drop back into the 72.08 level. But if it goes through it, and then I would be looking for price to go higher into 86, towards that 8600 level. So look for it to start going higher, but we are right into resistance. So it will be important to see how price holds that level. So that's something to keep in mind. So right now it is bullish, but I will look for a pullback because it is into resistance right now. Any questions? Okay, so no more questions. All right, so one thing that I did want to talk about, and I've been testing, this is something that I wanted to talk about on the webinar on Friday, but I didn't, my voice wasn't cooperating. What I have been working on has been to take slightly longer term trades. So I used to take a lot of what do you call it, shorter term trades. So I'm moving towards taking more of the longer term trades, especially over the summer. So in August here, the liquidity is going to die down and a lot of people are away. And as a result of that, a lot of traders are away, a lot of people are taking holidays. So as a result of that, liquidity is going to drop further. And as such, it just makes things more volatile. So what I've been working on is looking at slightly longer term trades, so based on the daily. So this is basically next step from the daily analysis that we do. So this is what I'm thinking of doing, or this is what I'm planning on doing, I should say. So instead of trading the regular trading hours over the summer here, I'm going to go more into the daily trading scenarios. So basically looking for a trade setup like this, and then looking for a follow through from that. So that's a nice pin bar. I would just take a trade, and likely what would happen is I would look for price to pull back sort of into that area right there, and then looking for it to drop. So in this case, I would call a trade, and I would put my stop on the other side here. So put the stop on the other side and put my take profit target at the bottom, and then just let the trade run. And in order to do this, we will need a slightly longer stop loss and take profit targets. So in that case, we'll have to adjust our position sizes so that we are not taking on too big the amount of risk. So that's my plan. So for example, I like this one today. So there are two ways to take a trade on this. One is we wait for a pullback and then a drop. Second one is just take a trade here and then just let it play out. So yes, there may be a pullback, but I'm not going to worry about it. And over the long term, I've been testing this for the last couple of months here, and that my best trades have been these ones where I take the trade off of the daily. And I find when I sit in front of the computer, especially when it's early in the morning and I'm not fully sort of with it, then I tend to jump out of trades too much. So I mess with the trades too much. So I don't want to be doing that. So over the next at least month, so going into sort of mid-September, this is what I'm planning on doing. So I'll be calling trades in the evening. So today I'm going to take this trade. I will post it in the trade room, but this is how I plan to be trading. And also, so I'm going to change so are there any questions about that? This is nothing new for us. It's just a follow through based on the analysis that we currently do. And the idea is to do a little bit more hands-off trading and not have to sit in front of the computer or spend as much time in front of the computer. So we'll just take a look at it in the morning, and see how trade is. We'll adjust our stop loss and so forth accordingly. But idea is to just take a trade and just let it run. So any questions in regards to that? No? So is everyone okay with that? Gold, silver will be the same. So I would say, like, for example, today that's a short. So just taking a trade and just calling it a day. So we'll still have our daily analysis calls at the same time every day. So those will not change. But it'll just be a matter of not managing the trades during the night. But gold, silver will be the same. That's a bearish candle close. I would just put my take profit right there. Right, and or at the bottom here and stop above the daily candle. Yeah, so this way we just kind of let it run and not touch it too much. So kind of moving away from really short-term trading to more of the day trade, like a full day trade. So that's what I will be looking at. So that's what I'm planning on doing. And then so I will, instead of doing our trade room hours, we'll just do like regular office hours. I will call them. So basically, if there are any questions and so forth, I will be in the Skype room from 9 to 12 Eastern. So this way, anybody has any questions and stuff like that, I can answer them. And in terms of, so we'll do this over the summer, just to, what do you mean, Eamon, to compare the week? What do you mean by that? Like compare how? Do you want me to unmute you? Okay, let me just unmute you so you can ask your question. If anybody else would like to chat as well, please let me know and I can unmute you. Okay. That's weird. It's telling me to mute. Eamon, can you try speaking, actually? Because it looks like I've unmuted you. Oh, wait, maybe okay, can you guys hear Eamon talking or speaking? You are unmuted. Okay, so I can't hear you. So maybe it's my audio connection. Can anyone else hear? Let me just try my audio settings. Oh, this is, oh, that's weird. Okay, the test stuff seems to be working, but I can't hear you. Okay, no, I'm gonna, so Eamon, I'm not sure why I can't hear you. Oh, you know what? I think it was my audio. It wasn't picking up my my headset. It was using my computer audio. I think that's why I couldn't. That's why it got better now. But I have actually I can't do anything to you, mute or unmute. Sorry, Eamon. Okay, yes, please type it and I will answer your question.
So you're trying to see a pattern between long-term. You know what? I would say have a look at it. To tell you the truth, I haven't done any longer term trading, but yes. So this is our weekly Aussie dollar chart, right? So I would look for price to go into the bottom. Yes. So once for example, this one here as well, I will look for price to drop right into the bottom, 66.80. That would be my weekly sort of. So once price has established a daily trend, so I'm basically looking for price to continue for the next couple more days at least. Sorry. So that makes it, I would say we'll have to test it out. Like this one here, for example, that was a weekly bearish, and look at that big drop, right? So that was a large pin. Look at the big drop after that. So there is definitely, I mean, we look at the weekly analysis on Sunday, but I haven't actually taken trades. I tend to go drill down to the daily. I've been taking trades off of the daily and not so much the weekly candle. Weekly, I just use for market direction to see, and then I'm looking for follow through on the daily. So I would suggest just let a small position run and test it out with small positions and see what kind of results you get. Okay, any other questions? So I'm going to take a trade in New Zealand dollar here, and I'm considering one in pound dollar as well. So basically, I would just take it where it is. And the target is, only 54 pips. And that's pretty big. So I would go all the way into the bottom here. So 21.30. And so those will be the two trades that I'm going to take right now. I will post it in the trade room. So we'll call it a wrap. So that will be our strategy over the summer. And the idea is there's no point in waking up in the middle of the night. Markets are more volatile. So we'll just take a little bit more hands-off approach to trading here. But I will be in the trade room Tuesday to Thursday. And I will be, and we won't do webinars over the summer here, just because a lot of people are away. And so we'll just take the daily trades, and we'll skip the webinars, but we'll keep the daily and the weekly market analysis calls. Those would stay the same. So just a slight change in how we're going to do things. So I might take, I may take a couple of weeks off. I'm not exactly sure. I'm going to be traveling though, but I'm not exactly sure if I'm actually going to be taking a whole couple of weeks off or not, but I will let you know. But for now, we'll keep everything the same. Just take trades based on the daily. The morning session. So I won't do the morning sessions. The morning sessions I will do a little bit later. So we'll do at 7:30 in the morning. Sorry, not 7:30, 9:30 a.m. Eastern, which is 7:30 for me. That's right. Okay, so we'll do 9:30 a.m. to about noon. So I'll be on Skype, but I won't be calling trades during that time, but it'll be more for people to ask me questions or provide feedback and that type of stuff. My trading, I'm just going to do based on the daily. So I'm not looking to take trades because I've been finding those trades have not been too successful. These trades have worked better for me than taking them during those times, especially over the summer here. So that's what we're going to do. Does that make sense? Also, actually, what I should say is, though, the Skype room will be open, so there will be other people in the Skype room. So feel free to chat with people. So you're welcome to do that and exchange ideas and so forth. It's just that I won't be, there's no point in for me to wake up at 3 in the morning to get there, because hopefully the trades would have worked by then, or I'm just going to give it room for them to play out. Okay, any more questions before we wrap it up? Oh, so QC Comp. So who's this one? I was wonder who this one is. So who do we have on the call? Kevin, Eamon, and who else? It just shows me at QCOMBTD. Okay. All right. So we will, yeah, so we'll do that. We'll take longer term trades, make it a little bit easier on us, and we will go from there. And if we need to adjust something, we will do so. But that's our strategy over the summer. Take a little bit time off. I would highly recommend taking some time off and basically just stepping away from trading a little bit and doing other things, because this is our off season, right? So when we go into our on season, which will be our September, mid-September onwards into December, so that will be the more of the good solid trading time. For now, this is off season, so just take a little bit more laid back approach, and also make sure you take some time off during the summer, and we don't need to just keep on trading. All right, so we'll wrap it up. You guys have a wonderful evening, and I will just go in the trade room and call those trades right now. You're welcome. Bye for now.